Afternoon. We are with Joseph Martinez, a well-known architect, Rogelio Salmona, and historian. Joseph, the last. Which is the reason that led you to doing an investigation of Rogelio?
Hello, Lina. Thank you for the invitation. Even for the coldest of the historians, it will be practically impossible not bear in mind the presence of Salmona, because though he died in 2006, he continues very present in the cultural Colombian and Latin American panorama.
We know that Rogelio born in Paris in the post-war 1920s, but how did he arrive to Colombia?
Rogelio's family came to Colombia at the end of 1931. His childhood happened to the culture shade of French and sensibility to the physical of Bogota, way in which he grew. But the most relevant thing is that in this epoch of his infancy, the city of Bogota was in full formation. Therefore, Salmona grew observing the building constructions and especially taking his vision the constant image of the texture, the colors, and especially the tag of Bogota brick.
Then Salmona saw arose a part of the city of Bogota and it marked his fancy, then to find his architect's vocation and become one of the best exponents of the Colombian architecture.
Possibly it influenced his architect's vocation, but not too early age. First, he chose the fine arts and later he assisted to the architecture faculty of Universidad Nacional of Colombia.
But Salmona didn't finish his career and was in the year 2000 when he received the honoris causa of the Universidad Nacional of the Colombia.
That's right. He doesn't finish his studies and went to France in 1948, where he started to work as collaborator of Le Corbusier, who was in this epoch one of the most recognized architects in the world, which it allowed him to acquire experience in his vocation.
When he came back to Colombia,
He came back in 1958 and his most representative works were built in Bogota.
in his project, he included the material at site, as the brick and the concrete. Also, he used natural elements, as the water and the vegetation, to generate connection. Among this work in the Bogota, we distinguish the Cultural Center Gabriel Garcia Marquez and the Library Virgilio Barco, the building the post-degrees of the Facultad Humaniores of the Universidad Nacional, Alba's House and the Torres del Parque, but which was the most relevant work?
Undoubtedly, they are the Torres del Parque. Himself, Salmona, recognized before dying that with this project he culminated his designer's work, and for him it was a definitive achievement as contribution to the image city of Bogota and to the urban space, was considered to be a milestone in the history of architecture in Colombia.
Which was the biggest influence of Salmona to Colombian architecture?
His influence not only understand the architecture projects, also the education for a conceptual search in opposition to the ideological system of his epoch. Salmona wasn't left to classify him in any style, and his genius was based on his own thought. To understand the work of Salmona or understand it to himself is not else than the beginning to know why he is important by the history and the development of the Colombian architecture of 20th century and beginning of 21st century.
So we can say that he was considered to be one of the South American champions of the modern architecture by his intelligent synthesis of experience that gave to him the tools necessary of the construction of his notable work.
In short, the child who saw immensely how there was a rise in a neighborhood of brick, the juvenile draftsman of Le Corbusier, the traveler and discoverer of landscape, the reader of all the ages, and the architect of always, they adhered to the challenge that the history proposed to Salmona.
Thank you, Joseph, for accepting our invitation.
Thank you for allowing me to be in this space.